Hello. What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter. Vern in a cornfield here with the missing link to talk about Clown in a Cornfield. Excited to be doing this. We just did a really good show yesterday on The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Couldn't be more of a different movie. And then this Sunday coming up, just a couple days from now, we're going to be talking about another brand new movie that is on Shudder, Ugly Stepsister. So stick around for that. Johnny Recaps, my brother, says I'm a quiet observer tonight, boys. I haven't seen it yet. Just here to support. Okay, cool. Well, let me just say this as a preview. Link, my brother, you know that I don't watch previews. I'm always like, I'm always covering my ears when I see him and covering my eyes, and I stay away from him and shit. This movie might be the one that I better start watching some of these previews. I enjoyed this movie for what it was, but you heard I probably sound like a fucking idiot when I'm talking about this movie. Yesterday we're talking, and I'm like, we're gonna watch some Clown in a fucking cornfield. And I'm all like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be a really gory slasher film, is what I'm telling you. And then like the second it's on for like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, I was so off on this. I didn't realize it was based on a 2020 young adult novel. So I didn't either. I went in thinking like Terrifier, you know what I mean? I go in thinking Terrifier, and what we got, well, it's not bad. I think it's really well made for what it is. I think I think teens are gonna. This might be some kid's favorite fucking movie of all time. Probably gonna scare some shit out of some 12-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
But what we got, it's like if Twilight was a slasher. Spoiler alert, and the twist is Edward and Jacob bang. Like that's the twist. He's like, they're about to get together, and he's like, "Whoa, hey, isn't that?"
Yo,
and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
That might have been my favorite scene. Where like,
yeah. You know what they needed for that scene when they recognized, like, oh, this guy that I had a crush. These two, because there's like these two possible love interests, the Edward and Jacob. My wife's a big Twilight fan, as you might notice. But then, they find out, oh my God, Edward and Jacob have a history and they're gay lovers. And all the girls go, oh, they should have went, aw. You know what I mean? There should have been that. One of them should have done that. Oh, aw.
Look, not to get too far ahead, but one of the running bits was like, no one can get with this dude, Yes, Goosebumps is a great comparison. It was a little bit more gory. Like I'll give him that credit,
bloody, more bloody than gory. That's kind of the distinction. You don't see like gore, like someone's head gets smashed. You're not going to see the aftermath. You're just going to see blood spray, which is cool. I mean, that's why I say like it's going to freak some 12-year-olds out. The clown friendo is pretty fucking scary. Yeah, but I just. This was my experience with the movie, and obviously I'm going to ask you very shortly what you thought, but the movie starts for whatever reason. I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's an issue, and sometimes that's why you should watch a preview, is because you're spending a good chunk of the movie trying to figure out what am I watching. You know? So the movie starts in the opening scene when this girl's chase me through the cornfield. This guy's like, all right, baby, I will chase you through the cornfield. And they're running, and he's chasing her, and he looks down and he sees this giant shoe print. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, Jessica, how big are your feet? For whatever reason, when he said that, I thought I was in like a slapstick comedy, Don't Be a Menace to South Central movie. I busted up laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was so funny. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, this is a horror comedy. I didn't realize. And then it gets into the movie. I'm like, okay, no, this is. At one point, I was like, oh, this is like a real movie in a way.
You're taking it serious. Yeah,
it's like the story is serious, the characters are serious, and then it kind of clicked. I'm like, oh fuck, I did see that this was based on a book, and I quickly put it together. I'm like, this must be a young adult book, and it is. I think it's actually a pretty good story about this young girl moving to a new town because her mom died. Dealing with, you know what I mean? Trying to fit in. I think they did that like really well. And then it's also kind of like a whodunit slasher with clowns. And I didn't expect that either. I don't know if that was its strongest aspect, but the teen drama stuff I think is like excellent. So when we go to score it, I'm going to score it based on I'm going to score it almost two ways. Like how well of a job did they did, and like how much did I enjoy the movie?
Yeah, I can dig that. The fact that I didn't know that until you just told me, but it's like there was something, a missing piece that I was trying to put together with this movie And the fact that it's based on a young adult novel makes so much sense because, like Johnny Recaps mentioned, Goosebumps. I was getting those vibes. I was like, because tonally it was so weird because I was like, okay, so it's not too extreme, but then it's like it's in certain scenes it's like Kill Bill when Uma Thurman's like doing the ninja stuff and like blood splurting everywhere, like, you know, someone gets stabbed and it's gonna be like an explosion of blood out their back or something like that.
Right.
So the tone was just confusing me, but the fact that it's like based on a young adult novel makes so much sense. You know,
A
like
three-parter, by the way. There's
okay.
3 of these things released. This one came out in 2020, which, well, because I didn't mention at the top, maybe I did, but in case I didn't, this was directed by Eli Craig, who is the director of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. He's only done 3 movies. He did another one,
Shit.
Little Evil, which I think was like a Netflix thing that doesn't have a lot of reviews but good
Is
ratings.
that the one with Lupita Nyong'o or
I don't know. No, I know
zombie?
little.
Okay.
That's Little Monsters.
Little Monster. Okay.
This has the guy, I think, from that what's that big Apple TV Severance? I'm pretty sure it's the lead in that is in Little Evil. I might be fucking that up. I apologize if I am, but I think I'm right. But I love Tucker and Dale. And you can kind of see this is it's like that's why it's weird. It's young adult, but it's also like they're cussing, the kids are saying the F word quite a bit. So it is like it's for like I said, 12, 13, 14-year-old and higher. Like, I think they're going to enjoy it, but I think it's going to be like a great, like you said, primer for a 12-year-old. I would say a 10-year-old. I'd show a 10-year-old this and be like, enjoy it.
Fun. But,
what did you think overall? Johnny Recap, by the way, I didn't watch the trailer. Johnny says that's not the tone I was expecting, and he did see the trailer. I almost watched the trailer. Did you see it?
Yeah. You know, I love my trailers. From the trailer, it didn't seem like it was gonna be like anything crazy, but I wasn't expecting the young adult vibes. Like that was they made it seem more of a straight up slasher, you know. Whereas like when you see this one, it's that's the thing, you just perfectly described it. It's like young adult slasher. You know, this is like it's a horror series for young adult readers, and that's such a different vibe. No, yeah, it made it. I got scary stories to tell in the dark vibes when I initially saw the trailer, but I was like, you know what, like that movie could have gone either way. They could have went a little bit more hardcore, but it was like PG-13. The visuals look great, but I thought that was going to be this, and I enjoyed this more than Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, to be honest. Like,
okay, which I didn't see.
Yeah, it's worth checking out, but the it was PG-13. What was this? This was
that's
R,
a good.
R, right?
It's got to be R, right? Yeah, I'm gonna double check, but what the fuck is this movie? Why doesn't it say? It's got to be R. Which also, just while I'm looking at it, it's tripled its budget already. It had a budget of like $1 million, and it's made almost $4 million, and it opened. It opened on the 9th, so 7 days ago, as the time we're recording this. It's going to be hitting. It's a Shudder movie, so it's one of those like Shudder movies that released in theaters, and it's doing good, which is cool, which is good to see.
Hell yeah!
But I'm glad. I don't know. Like, I'm glad I didn't go to the theater and see this.
Yes,
I'd rather do what I did, which I'm not gonna. You know, I'm not feeling too ashamed. We're talking about it on the internet, so I don't feel too bad saying that I pirated this thing. I am a Shudder subscriber, so I will have access to it soon. But I'm glad if I would have went to the theater and like maybe even like drove to go see this, I would have been annoyed. I wasn't annoyed. I enjoyed what I saw.
No, it's such an oddball movie. I feel like I have to watch this a second time because there are some things I enjoy in this movie. Like there's certain bits, like the humor, certain elements. But that's the thing. Like I wasn't sure if they were trying to be more of a horror story at certain points, or it was like a comedy horror, you know. And then the fact that it's young adult, Tucker and Dale director, that I didn't know that all that, I can see why it came out the way it did. And I can't be mad at it because I felt like maybe that's what they're aiming for. You know, it's like this is our primary demographic, our young adults, teenagers. But if we can get some adults to find some enjoyment out of this, hey, that's a win, you know?
Well, I think, Johnny, this is a good one. Like the title.
Yes.
I think the title is like kind of like, we're gonna trick some adults into thinking this is something different, which I do feel there is a little bit of that going on. And it does. It sounds iconic. And there's there's a drive-in movie theater by me. There's not many left in the world, but there's one like 15, 20 minutes from my house in the middle of a fucking cornfield.
Yeah.
And this was going along before it opened in select drive-ins like that. And I think it would
that's
cool,
sick.
especially you get a group of teenagers to go see this in the middle of a cornfield
Thematic.
would be cool.
Yeah. And you know, people have there's a lot of people out there that scared as shit of clowns, you know, like so this will be right up their alley. There was a turn in this without saying too much that I didn't see coming. I was like, oh shit, okay. I think you know what? Before finding out that there was this was a series of books, I did think I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing this fleshed out more in like a sequel, maybe like turn up the ante a little bit more.
Right. Right. If they go like the Harry Potter route where the stakes get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already started out with their friends being killed and decapitated in the first one. So there's stakes, but maybe like kill someone near and dear to her heart, kill her dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the second one, which they probably do. I could look it up. They're all out.
Yeah.
So but let's get into that. Well, no, go ahead. Because I was gonna say we could get into spoiler alert for the twist. So Johnny, if you don't want, there's two twists. One is that the dudes are gay, and then the second twist, you ready? Is that there's more than one clown. There's a fuck ton of clowns. So instantly, my 80s slasher brain I'm instantly turned off by that to a degree. I'm not like fucking turning it off or anything, but I'm like, oh, I want like an iconic slasher villain, and this is more, and I guess it fits in with this day and age that we live in. It's like a conspiracy where it's like not all, but like many of the adults in the town, the authority figures, are fucking clowns. They're dressing up as clowns. I didn't even fully understand it. I looked it up on Wikipedia. And it was they were talking about like generations past, and like there's been like friendos in the past. It's like, are they all part of like a cult that runs back generations
or something?
Is that I didn't fully get it. Are the clowns gay too? I don't know. They did squeak around quite a bit, but I don't know. I didn't notice any gay clowns. So
there was not I don't know why this is so random, but speaking of clowns, I always had nothing pertaining gay, but when he killed one of the friends and he like walks away afterwards, you hear like the squeaky shoes, like
I like that.
I
like that's what I'm saying. It seems like something that could have been in a slapstick horror comedy kind of a thing. It could have been sillier, which I mean, it wouldn't have hit the same. Like I think like I said, I want to know more, but I think the kids are gonna fucking love it because I think it does that the best. So I don't know. I mean, they could have leaned into the silliness, but it might have taken away from what is actually going to be scary for some kids. And then the whole social media aspect, I thought it's kind of something that's done a lot, but it was done in a pretty believable, like good way. I can only imagine if I was 15 right now, like what kind of stupid shit I would be doing on the internet instead of this stupid shit. Like I can only imagine.
TikTok is crazy. Like it's people are so into that. You never I don't know. I watch TikTok clips occasionally. I don't have an account myself, so it's like through the grapevine and people send me stuff. But everybody's doing a dance or something, and that's like all the kids is like. Someone was telling me the other day that they communicate with one thing, but their kids primarily communicate through TikTok, and I was like, that's wild. Like, but what was I gonna say? Oh, back to the plot. There's something about me is like I don't really know the reason for any of this popping off. Like where the dad, the mayor. I liked him as an actor. I think his name's like Kevin Durant. He's
like the Blob, right? In X-Men.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
He's fine, but it's like he played he's almost playing like a mustache twirling villain where it's like we don't really know his motive. He's already well off, but you wanted more money, so you kill your family and frame your son,
right?
Or you kill your daughter.
Will Sasso is playing the fucking mustaches twirling. They're sitting there twirling each other's mustaches. Like, well, you got two of them, and they're both good. They're both they're solid.
I was shocked to see them pop up. Like when Will Sasso first popped up, I was like, because he had the hat on, and it wasn't until he took the hat off and sat down at the diner table. I was like, that's Will Sasso. But I was shocked to see each of those guys. I give the film credit to having him in here. You know, that's a plus. But I really don't know why anything was going. It's cool that why were they killing off those groups of kids? Why was it just so
The thing is, they sat and explained it at one point, but I still don't really know. I think I even rewound it. Like, I didn't get the connection with the past. They're like, back in the 30s, they were doing this, and then this generation came in, and they were cool, but your fucking generation. Like, that's what it was. There was this big battle of like, oh, you don't understand us, which is cool. Like, because every generation doesn't understand the prior generation.
You know what song they missed, bro? It was speaking because you know how the dad was big on 80s rap? It's speaking of that generational lack, the gap. Parents just don't understand. Would have been fucking perfect for this. At one point, shit,
that's funny. Maybe they couldn't afford it, which they probably could. I'm sure it's not too expensive. Yeah, Johnny, that's kind of what I think is. Would you agree? Like, she's kind of the strength of the movie. There's a solid, which makes it's another thing that makes it believable that it's based on a successful novel series or young adult series. Is like Quinn, this young girl again whose mom died, just moved to a new town. A story we've heard, her and her dad struggling. It's very tropey, like from start to finish. Everything about it, there's nothing too original, but it is well done in the vein that it's done, like in this teen movie. What up, Kenneth Bird, my brother?
I gotta say, shout out to the main lead. Yeah, she actually was. It was very tropey, but it was like she was handled situations well enough where I was like, I feel her struggle. You know, she's a teenager. You know, it's like everything's intense and magnified as a teenager.
Everything,
yeah. So it's like, you know, her mom had OD'd, and then her dad moved her to the middle of nowhere without her permission, and there's a bit, you know. So it's like there's some contention between her and the dad because of that. Because I remember her speaking like. He's like, I asked you if you want to move here. She's like, you didn't ask me that. I didn't say anything. He's like, oh yeah, just
right. He was good. I think not just her, but like I think those two were really solid. And her initial everybody was pretty good. Her initial like love interest that we find out later, spoiler alert, is a gay man. He was really good. The other everyone was pretty solid, but I especially liked him, and I especially liked her and the dad.
Speaking of
no, go ahead.
Oh, the gay boyfriend, not boyfriend or her friend. But when it was revealed, I was like, wait a minute, because when they're like making out at the party or whatever, and he lets that one thing slip, I was like, did I just hear that right?
I had to rewind it 3 times. I'm still not sure what he said. What the fuck did he say? Because I'm like, this is vital to the plot, and I can't tell what this kid just mumbled.
I'm right there with you. That's kind of why I rewound it, but I'm assuming he said the dude's name. Because remember they had just seen him on the way. He's like, no, slow, go slow, such and such, and I think he drops the dude's name.
Well, she says so, which is that's totally fine. I almost think he said I'm gay because she apologizes right up. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. But then it's like, I don't know. And then it's almost like a reveal a little bit later that he is gay. So maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that the I'm sorry. It's just like, that was like, her, you know how it's an like involuntary reaction when someone's nervous. Like when I used to be super nervous, I still do it sometimes, but I used to like smile and like kind of like laugh. And I remember I had this is when I realized it was a tick of mine. But when I had my first job, I had a restaurant. I had dropped something, and I worked for a real dick. But he's sitting there berating me, and I'm sitting there just like, yeah. He's like, why are you laughing right now? Nothing is funny. And I was like, oh, I'm not. It's not funny. I'm nervous right now. So that's what I do when I'm nervous, you know. But I just assume like some people are overly apologetic, you know, even when it's not their fault. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, because they're in an uncomfortable situation. That's what I took that as. But
either way, it seemed like a kind of important moment, and it's like, let's retake that. Take 2. Can you do it without the mumble? Like he really mumbled. I'm like, dude, if I'm listening this hard, I should be able to tell what the fuck you just said.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one though, because I did rewind it like 3 times, mostly because I couldn't really. I was like, wait a minute, did he say what I think he did? Yes,
it very much is. It very, very much is. Johnny, it's like new age. If Goosebumps was written today,
you know what? I want to say real quick, I did like the fact that I feel you where it like takes away because there's, as soon as you see there's like more than one clown, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the threat level is lower because it's just unless it's like zombie clowns, it's
Right.
a
Well,
group of people.
they're talking on walkie-talkies and stuff.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, okay, it's this. It's
it's a
completely
team.
different. Don't take his mask off. Oh my god, fuck. Which also throws off instantly the who done it element. Because at first
Yeah.
you're like, okay, here's the red herrings. Potential boyfriend number 2, potential boyfriend number 1, and like
Hmm.
all these girls that she's hanging out with. It's like, okay, they're setting up that mystery. And like a quarter of the way through the movie, you realize it's a conspiracy. And then it's like, well, shit, it's a bunch of people. And it's
Yeah.
just not as, I
That
don't know, it loses that aspect of it, the who done it.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I part of me was excited though, where I was like, okay, a group of clowns, because I'm just thinking of the aspect is like there's someone out here who is fucking terrified of this because they're I don't get the clown phobia, but I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it in it,
Oh, yeah.
so I know that someone out here will see a group of fucking clowns walking out the cornfields, like what the fuck, that's like terror brought to life. But I wish they would have. I kind of wanted like a supernatural route, like if it was a group of like zombies. I don't know why. You know what I was thinking when that scene happened? Killer Clowns from Outer Space did come to mind, and I was like, that'd be kind of
Hmm.
like a dope remake interpretation. And instead of it was like just three clowns, their victims became like clown drones or some shit that
Oh,
attack
that
other
is
people.
cool.
Give
They
it that
need to
little.
do a Killer Clowns reboot. I didn't even think of Killer Clowns. That is a really good comparison where it's a
Mhm.
group of fucking clowns going around killing people. That's very, very good at or comparison. I feel like we done did it, man. Like kills wise, I guess we could just touch on that for another minute. That's kind of, if you're gonna go for it, you're gonna spray all that blood. I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna make it rated R, which again I never
Yeah,
verified it, but there's no way it's not rated R. There's too much blood.
so
Oh,
much
there it
blood.
is. You're right. Or rated R for sure. Go for it. Give us
Yeah,
some actual gore mixed in there with it. But I don't know. I guess
it was a
it's not what
clean.
everyone likes. I wonder why they made that decision. What's the difference between blood and gore? I guess there is a difference because it's what I want. You
Yeah,
know?
I think they're trying to gap that bridge because there's a lot of people who immediately will see a PG-13 horror movie, but like, nah, that's not worth my time.
Hmm.
That's But with Ari, like, even if it's like a goofy premise, you're kind of if it's R, you're kind of like, there could be something there. So
Right.
I think they were trying to bridge that gap, and they kind of did it. But I'm on this side of the fence with you. It's like if you're R and you got got the go ahead, the permission, like go all out. It's like
Yeah.
that's you guys are given the green light to get gory, get hardcore. And even if it's like they didn't want to do it for the whole movie, there could have been at least one scene where it's like there was a standout.
One really gnarly. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us one super gnarly where the kids are like, oh, you remember that one? This is a really good question, Johnny. Does the clown have what it takes to support a series of these? So
Mm,
the way again, like light spoilers or heavy spoilers, whatever. It ends and she's like leaving town.
yeah.
She's got her two potential lovers. They're now lovers, and hugs and kisses them goodbye. Kisses her dad goodbye, and she's going. I don't know where the fuck she's going. She's going to another town. She's going on a trip. I can't really
I
remember.
I kind I kind of assume she was off to college or something.
Okay, so well,
The
here's the thing:
time lapses
the
here.
the clown is Friendo the clown is very much tied to this town that she just moved to. So I don't know how they're
Yeah.
gonna do that. I'm kind of curious about that because it is a conspiracy. It is a group. Is it more wide ranging? I don't know. I mean, I
It could
get like
be.
the look. What do you think of just like is his look unique and cool enough? I think it's scary, but fuck,
It's intimidating.
I have a clown mask somewhere around here that looks just like it. You know what I mean? And it's like
It's very
it's not a unique looking clown, but
distinct.
it is a good
Yeah.
looking, scary looking clown.
Yeah, it's intimidating. I think they would get, it's a for I always like it's like a first film. If they got like a sequel, I think I would hope that they would make it more scary or more distinct,
Hmm.
because it is very, but at the same time I was kind of like thinking of like Scream. Like they took something very basic with Ghostface
Yeah.
and made that iconic. I
I
don't know
thought
if
it was so
Brendo.
lame when I first saw it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of you
Yeah.
forget how like lame it kind of looked
The
at first.
premise.
I
Yes.
definitely remember thinking Ghostface was lame.
So Friendo, I think like I'm thinking like if they took this like a Scream route, like say she's Sydney, and the second one she's off to college, and someone from the town somehow found out about her association with the events of the first movie, follows her to college.
That's a good way it could go. Yeah.
Or
They're like
maybe her
kind of
dad.
like a copycat, just like what
Yeah,
Scream 2 was. Yeah, it's a really
yeah.
good call.
And that could be the Scream of this generation, to be honest.
Right.
It's got the setup. It's not as good. Nowhere is good. No, like Scream is iconic. This movie's not iconic, but it's got potential.
Well, it's so funny because it's hard for me to judge. Like, what the fuck was that? Obviously, there was Minecraft. I haven't seen that, but the other really, Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like I saw it. I was bored to tears, and I thought it was lame, but the kids ate it up. So it's kind of it is hard for me to judge what's gonna hit, but I think it's good enough. Like I said, like it's so not aimed at us, but I have the feeling we both like enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't like gag me with a spoon, over the top, aimed at kids. It was entertaining enough. It was like a teen movie, but it was like, I mean, I guess it was obviously a teen movie. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It was good.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely the tonal thing is weird because it's like there's moments where it's just a straight up teen movie, young adult movie, and then it's like they are kind of there's glimpses of like this could get badass if they wanted to, but it doesn't ever go.
It's on the edge, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like right there, so fucking close to it. What up, Two Gun? What up, my brother? And we'll bring this up right meow. Because we're about to wrap this bad boy up, but I just wanted to. Johnny Recap says, I'm posting my Ugly Stepsister review tomorrow. If either of you get bored, I will. I'm going to be bored. I will be watching that. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to be able to watch that. But either way, we're talking about it on Sunday. I'm trying to pull up the goddamn thumbnail, but it's really taking a long time to load. So again, you guys go sub up to Johnny's channel over there. Johnny Recaps doing solid work in the horror world. And again, that's a Shudder original movie that has got really good reviews. So we're doing that on Sunday. Link and I will be getting together again, talking Ugly Stepsister. And next Wednesday, Final Destination 1 and 2. I'm super stoked about this. We've been wanting to talk about these movies forever. There's the new one coming out. And I figure if we're talking Final Destination, I definitely want to be able to talk about the second one.
Classics. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Doing a little double feature. But yeah, there's the slap this together before we got rolling too. Ugly Stepsister. Really good reviews, like excellent fucking reviews. So I'm very excited to see this movie. But where do you at on it, man? Back to Clown in a Cornfield. Where are you gonna rate, or what are you gonna rate it? What up, Six Deuce, my brother? Cornhole in a clown field.
Cornhole in a clown field. I like that. They could have had some references. Man, they could have had some cornhole references. But that's another story. But I'm gonna go with my initial. There's stuff to enjoy about this, but it's not meant for our demographic. At the end of the day, they give sprinkle moments in there to kind of So I think that's why it wasn't too bad of a watch, because it's like I think they kept that in mind that some adults might watch this. Let's give them something. Let's not make it a complete waste of their time. So I respect that. But this is meant for teenagers. There are cool moments. I think that given a sequel, and they still, I'd assume they would keep R, but maybe go a little harder. That's I don't think you guys would be hurt by going harder. Especially if that's like their age group you're aiming at. Teenagers would love that shit. They'd be like, that's extreme,
Right.
So lean into that. But I was surprised by how much I wasn't turned off by the tropey teenage stuff going on. We've seen this before many times. So, I was shocked that I wasn't like, Jesus Christ. Like, okay, for instance, at the beginning there, when she was, after the whole, she goes to class and she gets in trouble by the teacher and they're all sitting there talking afterwards. I'm like, here's another fucking unrealistic scene. And I was like, at what point in anyone's high school career did they have time to hang out in classrooms afterwards, in between classes, just talking about random shit? Like, yeah, you had to be on you had like 7 minutes in between each class, bro. And I went to a big high school. So it was like, by the time I got to my locker or something, I was, I had 2 minutes left to make it to the other side of the building. So You know, that stuff that like that, it quickly dissipated later on in the film. Like there was some rapport and charm to the cast. Even like her annoying friends, I thought were just gonna be kill fodder, but I was kind of sad to see them go at the end. You know, they had some funny lines. So, you know, that being said, I'll give it a 3.5. A 3.5. I was gonna give it like a 3 initially, but based on the discussion and finding out information and seeing what they were trying to do, I think they know what they were intending to do, you know. But I think it'd be a little bit more extreme.
I think I'm pretty much right there. Like I would say, like I said, if you are a teen, the people that it's aimed at, this is a 4. Like this is a solid, maybe even a 4.5. Yeah. Like I honestly think like the younger you are, the better it is because the gore and the scariness gets better. But I would say for my enjoyment, it was like a 3.5.
Yes.
So I'll give it a 3.25, just because that's where I'm at on it. No, I'm looking at this 6 dudes. First of all, Johnny Recap saying, "Do not watch Stepsister with kids around. Ugly Stepsister." I will not. I've learned my lesson now. She got to that age where I'm like, shit, I can't watch anything with her. She's watching everything. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves was in a movie called Miracle Mile. Is this what you're telling me? Is this what you're telling me, 6 dudes? No, that's not what he's telling me. He's talking about the 1988 thriller sci-fi that I've never heard of. The film stars Anthony Edwards and Mawar Wingham. Its plot depicts the panic surrounding a supposed doomsday brought on by a sudden outbreak of war. Is it good? 94% on Rotten Tomato, 7 IMDb, 77% of Google users like it.
Okay.
I wish it was the other Anthony Edwards. That would have been way fucking cooler. But all right. Thanks for that, 6 dudes. So a 3.25 from me, a 3.5 from The Missing Link, and a 62 from Two Gun Pedro. And once again, man, Ugly Stepsister, Link and I be getting together on Sunday and talking about that. 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern Time, and on Wednesday, the return of Big Stu, who hit us up earlier. He's all set up. He's got a new phone. He's got a new computer on the way. He's all set up to go. Final destination.
I felt like he's got a rejuvenation for missing on Wednesday. I feel like he's coming back hard, bro.
He's coming to rock fucking hard. Hell yeah. All right, you guys are the shit. We're gonna get up out of here, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.